Hey, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're catching me on my YouTube channel, True Divine 44. You can also catch me on my Facebook page, True Divine, and it is the True Divine for both Instagram and Twitter. Any likes, shares, subscribes, and follows are greatly appreciated. Much love to everybody who does that thus far, and extra love to everybody who leaves a comment. I love reading them. I love getting back to you on them. I haven't been able to do so lately just because of poorliness, but I will get back on that. Comments are awesome. So I'm putting out as much free content as I can to help support, guide and inspire those who need to be, want to be supported, guided and inspired. I do that with working with energy, picking up on the energies of the day, using tarot to back that up, to bring a narrative to you that you can understand and use if it resonates with you. Always just take what resonates here. Don't try and twist a reading with your mind to your circumstances that aren't really yours. Because it is a general reading, it may not resonate with all and everyone each day. Take and leave what you know is yours and what you know is not yours. So for the day of the 20th of July 2020, here's the reading, and again it's a pretty awesome day. The energies are intense and they're raising up, but there's a separation happening in that some people are getting lost in the drama, some people are getting lost in the 3D fiascos that are going on, and it's important to stay aware. It's important to stay updated with what is going on, but there's mistakes being made in that getting too involved with those things or reacting in the predicted way regarding those things via the propaganda, etc., is exactly what will maintain the system that we've lived in for far too long. It is about the spiritual and physical journey combining. It's about seeing the bigger picture in all of this, seeing that this is a soul's journey, that this is a gift to come here and try and leave this world a better place after your lifetime here has ended, has passed over, so that the imprint, the energetic imprint that you leave when you go is that of something that is learnt through experience, who has grown strong, who has been able to combine both the spiritual and physical journey and have an impact in whatever way, shape or form that is for the good, that is for the good of the collective, good of your brothers and sisters, and most importantly, the children. So take that in mind when you're taking account and listening to any outside drama right now. Now is not the time to get lost in it. That includes the greater stage and the relationships that you have within your smaller circle. Things are much more important and bigger right now. So the first card is the Earth Princess. So the Page of Pentacles. And this speaks to things being wiser than their years. It's important right now that if you have children around you, in whatever way, shape or form, look at them, look at how they're reacting to the way that the world is right now. They're so much more robust. They're not allowing it to spoil their imagination. They're thinking outside of the box in ways to still connect with their friends. They're able to stay happy and smile and literally make up things with their imagination to make you smile. There's a lot of wisdom in looking to the children in your life right now. There's a lot of wisdom to see how their world, although it seems on the outside, has changed so drastically regarding school, regarding routine, regarding seeing friends. They have stayed pretty centered. They have stayed pretty whole and are making their own fun. They're not allowing these outside forces, these outside restrictions, these things, these distractions to take them from their journey, to take them from their fun, to take them from their heart. So look to the younger years for the wisdom that they hold, and try and replicate that in your own life. Try and suck some of that energy up and use it in order to pave a better way for that very child that you're taking the wisdom from. It speaks to being scholarly. It speaks to doing your own research and being practical most of all. Right now, It's clarified by the Strength card, the Major Arcana, the Strength card, and the eight, the cycles, the yin and the yang, the affinity symbol. It's about having the strength to look past the distractions. The Earth Princess knows to look at nature. She knows to look at the children. She knows to look at the things that take no note of the outside distractions or restrictions. She knows to look at that little seed that can literally break its way, find its way through concrete, the tiniest crack in concrete. If you have a paving area, you'll know what I'm talking about, or even if you're on a walk on the pathway, you'll see this little flower here and there popping up where it seems like, well, how the heck did it grow out of that little crack? It finds a way. So this practical energy, this grounded energy, does not get distracted and does not get disheartened by whatever restrictions are on the outside. It just looks to truth. It just looks to finding a way. It just looks to, plotting that path, taking that message forward, whatever it might be, in a grounded way. So it speaks of hard work. It is earth, turning the soil. It speaks of that being a great way to ground yourself, to actually touch the earth, to get your hands dirty, regardless of what nail varnish you're wearing, to feel how, nature's taking no note. It just breathes a sigh of relief when we humans decide to behave and put less pollutants into the atmosphere, and at the same time, when we decide to misbehave, it still just finds a way to balance itself out. And so it takes strength to do that. The strength card here, if you look at it, it's a small female holding open a lion's jaw. Now this lion is paying no mind to this feminine energy opening its jaw. It knows that it is to find the strength from within, to dig deep, use that intuition, and literally place your hand inside of this inner lion that we all hold, this strength, this grit, this knowledge that we can move forward no matter what. She's doing it in a gentle way. She's doing it with a peaceful face. She's doing it with a loving face. She's not using force. She's not using violence at all. She's just combining her feminine intuition with that lion heart of taking action. She's not making a loud fuss about it. The lion is not roaring. It's just allowing that action, that grit, to be combined with that feminine intuition, that feminine energy of just knowing which way to turn, and the masculine energy of the lion of, not being disheartened. It just keeps on finding a way to catch that catch, to have that hunt. And so it talks about plotting your path, finding a way, and not getting distracted, not being fooled into being told that you are something that can be put in a box, that you are something that can be constrained and constricted. Yes, the way things have gone, the way this matrix has been for quite some time, the physical restrictions are there, but also the freedom is there. You just have to look in a different way to find it. It's about finding your inner peace, even when things around you seem to be going to shit. It's about knowing that you have the strength of that lion and the gentle intuition of that divine feminine to go forward no matter what problems are put your way. It's the knowing of the eternal, the knowing that we are all eternal beings having an experience here, and hopefully all taking it on board right now, that it is more important, forgetting about all of the distractions, it is more important to recognize that our role here is to leave this world a better place when we pass over, when we go over to whatever realm we might go over to. The second card being the Nine of Earth. Now, this came up yesterday. The cards have been used well in between, and are always shuffled well beforehand. So again, it's coming up as that reminder. It's clarified by the High Priestess, the major arcana, the High Priestess. The divine feminine energy right now is lit, and you need to be bringing it forward from within yourself, whether you're male or female. And if you're in a partnership, the male, it's your role to help embolden and embrace and uplift that divine feminine energy in your partner, and vice versa. It is your role to uplift and hold time and space for the action of that divine masculine in your partner. And so, and if you're on your own, of course, remember, it matters not. We have the balance of the divine feminine, divine masculine within. And so it speaks of the High Priestess is the assimilation of imagination. And so it's bringing forward the first two cards of the Fool and the Magician. And so there's that inspiration there of the Fool, and there's that sorry, not assimilation and imagination, it's the inspiration and assimilation of the two cards before her. And so she speaks of having the knowledge of the yin and the yang, having the knowledge of knowing the importance of having those inner grounds balanced, that divine feminine and divine masculine within each and every one of us in balance, so that we can bring forward this Nine of Pentacles, this abundance that is there if we look beyond all of the distractions. This is a major testing time. It's a major point in our lives where we really show our grit, where we really show what we are made of, where we really show the knowledge, the knowing of the connection between the spiritual and the physical. And so we know that when we are in our divine feminine, in our intuition, we can take that action and bring forward abundance and refinement like we've never had before. When we are out of balance, we cannot do that. We get sucked into the distractions that are around us, and the few that are in the profit margins that they're in right now remain the few that are in the profit margins that they're in right now. It talks about the knowledge of the greater scale of things. This is how we actually shift things, by doing this on our individual selves, by bringing this forward in our own selves. This is what has the ripple effect that literally this divine feminine energy in the energetic field right now is trying to achieve greater things than the distractions can serve you with. This is about saving unknown children. This is about saving people that have been forgotten because they were never even known, and the atrocities that have gone on within that. And so it might seem like you are being ignorant by not, I don't know, protesting or whatever it may be, whatever physical action it may be that comes to mind for you. But actually, you're not being complacent in doing this, because this is what causes this ripple effect. Anything right now, i.e. protesting, going out and taking that physical action, feeding into the distractions that are around us right now, embolden the few that have been in control for so long, because they can always find a way to twist that. What about paid protesters? What about paid rioters popping in? When we make a movement like that, it's been proven over and over and over. They've refined their ways of twisting it and twisting the narrative of it, and causing it to affect families even more so. So it's about this individual inner journey and really waking up that goddess from within. And if you're in a partnership, waking up the goddess in your partner and becoming the master of your physical realm, bringing your own abundance, bringing your own refinement, bringing your own luxury, your own beauty into your life. The third card being the Six of Swords, and this speaks of intellect, the mind, air. So we're combining the two with the. This speaks of growth. It speaks of moving away from pain. The divine feminine is quite used to feeling pain because of the position that she has been in for quite some time. The divine feminine in her physical life is quite used to having pain, i.e., with monthlies, with pregnancy, with the more medical procedures that women have to have on the whole. We're used to having that physical pain. It's about, because it's clarified by the Empress, and that came up yesterday too, and it's on the bottom of the deck on this one. So the divine feminine energy is huge right now, and it's what will move you forward. So the Empress knows, like we spoke about yesterday, of that she has the knowledge of that our words, our thoughts, our deeds bring forward the reality that we live in. If we continue to revisit pain, revisit painful memories in the same way that we have been doing, without growing mentally past them and just being able to use them as something to go forward in your experience in, then we will draw in exactly that same pain, maybe with different characters, maybe with different names, but the same pain that we keep revisiting in the same way. When a woman gives birth, she doesn't, i.e., cesarean or physical birth, she actually very rarely looks back to the birth in a way that is a painful memory. That pain turns very quickly, because of this being that you've brought into the world, into a beautiful memory, something that you'll never forget. But the physical pain is quite hard to revisit in my experience, regarding even when it's been very dramatic pregnancies like mine. It's very hard to revisit that pain and actually feel that pain and remember that pain, because of what has been brought forward into the physical, this beautiful being brought forward into the physical. And so the Empress knows that we have to really refine our thoughts, that we have to really refine our words, we have to really refine our deeds in order to grow, in order to move forward past the pain. We can't keep living in the past. We have to move forward past any pain, past any anguish, and allow this divine feminine energy within ourselves and around us in our lives to uplift us and give us and hold us in this space and time to plot forward, to move past the things that have held us back in the past. The divine feminine energy is, for want of a better word, sneaky. She's not forceful. She's not, and I say she for want of a better word again, but she's not in your face. It's because it's intuition, it just seems to flow. And when you're flowing with divine feminine energy, you often move past pain and other things and get to a destination and look back and forget how you actually got there, because you flow with it, and you move around obstacles like a river moves around banks. It may touch the bank for a second or two, but it just rolls past it and keeps on rolling. And that's where we need to be right now, in flow with ourselves and in flow with the connection to the all. From the planets to the soil to the sand on the ground, it's asking us to really dig in and really be connected. Let our souls be connected to the soil that we walk on each day. Let us bring forward the spiritual and physical experience combined. And we can't do that when we're concentrating on the outside distractions. On the bottom of the other deck is the King of Wands, this fatherly figure. It takes action also, but again, he's not in your face. He's not one for causing trouble. He just knows which way he wants to move, and he moves that way. He goes where his passions lead him. And he is very protective. And so it's a beautiful mix of the divine feminine energy today and this protective action taken divine masculine. And you all have the capacity inside to hold that, to show that, to experience that on your soul's journey, and be a lesson to all those who watch you, all those who see you, and move forward with that ripple effect of connecting the all to you and living through the all within you. Um, it's a very, very powerful day. Now, it does speak to having this strength and this divine feminine knowing that the time has passed for for being in situations, being in relationships, being in certain frequencies that do not serve you and do not serve those around you. The things that are going on right now, the movements that are happening right now, the possibilities that are opening up right now, if people really recognize this as their soul's journey, something bigger than they've been living for a long time. The possibilities are so enormous that those 3D things that are no longer working, it's silly now to still be involved in anything that doesn't serve you that way. It's time for refinement. It's time for letting go of anything that might distract you from your soul's journey, anything that might lower your frequency right now. The bigger picture is things that you can't even imagine, and the possibilities of living within that bigger picture and recognizing this as a soul's journey is far too important to be complacent about, far too important to let things that might mean a lot in the 3D but actually don't actually work on a soul's level, to stop you in your tracks, to limit those possibilities, and therefore limit the collectives. We're all in this together. We all need to be lifting our own selves up, our individual selves up, and those who are doing that also that are around us, then yes, stick around. Let's enjoy it together. But those that are not on the same level, the unequal yokes. Now, people who, I think that was from a church saying, obviously I was brought up in churches. I don't agree with organised religion, and I didn't from a very, very young age. And so please leave in the comments if you know what that is, because that's popping into my mind, unequal yokes. It's something about I'm picturing unequal yokes and the chariot card. In the chariot card, I don't know if it's going to easily come to hand right now. In the chariot card, we have this chariot. It's a major arcana, and it is being pulled by both the yin and the yang of self. These two beasts. Now, if these two beasts aren't in an equal marriage or an equal setting, that chariot is going to get ripped apart. It's going to crash. It's going to be like those Egyptian things that they used to pull themselves on, when they crash and burn, they really crash and burn, they're dangerous. And so that's what it's speaking of, this that's popped into my head right now. I know some of the people that I love very dearly know the Bible very, very well, so please leave in the comments if you know where this is from, because somebody needs to hear it. And it would be interesting for me also to know exactly where that is from. But unequal yokes, I could ask my mum. If nobody leaves a comment, I'll ask my mum, because she knows, she remembers everything from the churches. But yes, unequal yokes. If you're an unequal yoke, in whatever way, shape or form, friendship, partnership, if you're in an equal yoke with yourself, then you're going to crash and burn. And it's going to be quite dramatic. And so heed the warning to get in balance within self, but also not be too fixed on the imbalances that you've been living with for too long, and just because they are your norm now, just because they have been in your life for this long, that it just feels like you can't go any further. That's the Six of Swords. That's a better one to show you. Chariot. right on top of the tower. So here's the Six of Swords in this deck, and you see the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine. Now that could be in partnership, or it could be just representing self, in that they've got these swords that they've learnt from these experiences. They're in their boat, and there's choppy waters on one side of them and very still waters on the other, and an island, a peaceful island on the other side of the calm waters. It's this growth that they're moving away past the pain that all of these swords, using them as an experience, as a reminder to go forward with, but not living in them, not continuing to live in these choppy waters where eventually you're going to get crashed up against the rocks. And the Empress knowing about the thoughts, the words, the deeds, all being something, that we need to grow with and move past with if we want our world to reflect a world that is comfortable, whole and safe for everybody to live in. There's the Chariot card. So you see the black and white, the yin and the yang. And so if this is unequally yoked, you can imagine if one pulls this way and the other pulls that way, the chariot will just split down the middle. There'll be a crash. There'll be a crash and a burn. There'll be injury in whatever way, shape or form that is. Physical, emotional, mental. So if you're still acting within yourself as an unequal yoke, if your divine feminine and divine masculine isn't aligned and in balance, if your energy isn't aligned and in balance, work on that, do something about it. If you are in relationships that are unequally yoked, do something about it, please, for your own sake and for others. So that's the reading for today. It's very, very powerful, very, very intense, the energies today. Flow with them, move with them, find your balance point. If you would like a private reading with me, get in touch with any of the details below. Any energy work to get yourself aligned, any spiritual guidance, again, all of the details below. Much love, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Mwah. Love you all. Wholeness and balance.